afternoon and welcome to Faith Speaks here and along with Around Town. I'm your host, Dick Patton, and I'm helping you having a great day today. And I'm very pleased to have as my guest Kathleen Hedstrom from here at Immaculate Heart of Mary Church. And Kathy is, I'm not really sure what your official title is, but I know you're very, very passionate about the I would say, well, I guess I could say it, anti-abortion program going on, or the right to life and everything of that nature. And
right now, Dick, we have changed our name from pro-life to the Sanctity of Life ministry, and I am the parish coordinator or connection. I work a lot. We work a lot with Christ the King Parish.
yeah,
Beth Gaby is their representative there, and I think really the Holy Spirit was working in us because we just kind of morphed into that, the sanctity of life, and it reflects not only the babies, but also to the end of life, from the beginning.
yeah,
Natural conception to natural death. And the two issues, abortion and physician-assisted suicide, are unconditionally evil.
oh, I know it.
They are unconditionally evil. But we have a wonderful program going on, and it's called 40 Days for Life. And it was started in 2007 by two gentlemen, this guy Sean Carney and his friend David B. Wright. I'm not sure exactly where they're located, but they and their wives were sitting around the table one day and just saying, what can we do to change what is going on in the world, in the United States? And so through prayer, Sean Carney, I think, was Catholic. David B. Wright was not, but has since converted to Catholicism. And they just decided to go to their churches and say, we would like to do this during the 40 days of Lent. And as we know, in fact, right now, we're talking about Noah in the ark. He was in the ark for 40 days. That's right now in our readings. And in the Catholic Church, 40 days has a lot of meaning. Christ went into the desert for 40 days.
Yeah,
After he rose from the dead, he appeared to people and was with his mother and the apostles for 40 days. So 40 days has a strong image within the Catholic teaching and the gospel. So they decided to do this, and it started in 2007, and since that time, I've got statistics, 15,256 babies have been saved from abortion.
wow.
186 abortion workers converted. They left the abortion industry. 99 abortion centers closed. So the prayer and fasting and peaceful vigil plus community outreach is making a big difference.
Oh, sure.
Now, when we consider that over 60 million babies have been aborted since Roe v. Wade, it seems like a small amount, but every baby that is saved is a gift, and you never consider it small.
Oh, I know it.
And so we are promoting that, and I put signs all over the parish, on the ramp, in the hall, in the chapel, in church, to let people know about this upcoming thing. It starts on Ash Wednesday, and it finishes on Palm Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
So Ash Wednesday is March 5th. Palm
Yes.
Sunday is April 14th. It's a late Easter this year.
It is this year.
And so it goes for 40 days, and we pray in front of the Equality Healthcare Center. Used to be the Feminist Center, and it's the abortion place in Concord. There are also these 40 Days for Life vigils being held in Manchester at Planned Parenthood down there, and also in Greenland at Planned Parenthood there. Now this has gone throughout the world. It used to be just local. It is grown. It's in Croatia. It's in Russia. It's in the Czech Republic. It is Germany, France, you name it, the Philippines, wherever. They have this, so it's become an unbelievably powerful message. And during this time, 40 Days for Life, what you do is you sign up for it. And I'll tell you, what you can do is go to 40daysforlife.com/Concord. I'll try to have that again at the end.
Yes.
And people can go onto that and sign up for an hour. Now, Beth Gaby, who is in charge of the program, last year decided to do it 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
So people are there at midnight, 2 in the morning, 4 in the morning, whatever meets your schedule. And you think, well, nobody would see me if I'm there at that time. You never know.
No, you never know who's out there.
Who's out there, and whose mind it might change. I went last year at 7 a.m. thinking, well, there'll be nobody there. Well, they start with abortions at 8 a.m. And it's amazing to see the young women accompanied by their mother and their grandmother. You know, a young girl I saw last year, about 14 years old, going up. And so it's, but when you sign up for this, you have to take a pledge. I will be peaceful and prayerful. It's not going to be, by taking that pledge, you really have to stick with it. And you're not going to get in an argument with them. You can talk to them, but you can offer them help, but you can't force them into anything.
No.
So, who knows
Now,
what is going to happen?
back in, has to have been January, the 1st of January, there was something down at the State House Plaza on a Saturday. Oh, it was bitter cold. And I remember seeing some of the clergy down there. I remember Bishop from the Anglican Church.
No, that's Father Christian Tudor.
Yes. I love the guy. He's a nice guy. He was there. I saw several of the Episcopalian priests there. And many of the Knights of Columbus were in their uniforms.
That was the March for Life.
Okay, that's what that, okay.
March for Life.
And there was, I bet there was at least, I would guess there was at least 500 people.
Yes, it was a good crowd this year.
And despite the cold temperatures, now they were walking down Main Street from the State House itself.
Yes.
And then, for some reason, they were forced to go up Thompson Street.
Right.
Or was it Fayette?
Yeah,
One
it's
of those.
around. It's
yeah,
around
and then round, and then down by the Kennedy apartments there. And I guess it was to avoid any whatever, because there was another large group, not as large as our group was, but another good-sized group, probably about 50 to 75 maybe, in front of the feminist, in front of the Right to Life Center or whatever.
No, Feminist Center.
Feminist Center,
It's
yes.
not Right to Life, let me tell you.
And that's for two guys, yes. And there was a little bit of banter going back and forth.
They got, what they do, what has been arranged with the March for Life is it alternates. 1 year, which was this past January, we go up, around, and beyond.
Yeah.
The other year, we go in front.
Okay.
They're always there. They're an angry group.
Oh, yeah?
They're angry with us.
Yeah.
And we are very peaceful and prayerful. And that is, I don't know if that gets them more angry or what. But whatever, that's the pledge we have. And we try to say the rosary while we're doing this, and
Yeah.
the Divine Mercy Chaplain.
Yeah.
And so we can be in smaller groups saying that, I'd like to have, actually they have a microphone, and I'd like to have the microphone at several stages in the march, because you've got the people up front, the middle, and the back, and
Yep.
it's nice if you have
Sure.
that to hear it. But those are all things to consider. But no, it's, who knows what's going to happen. One year, a member of the Sanctity of Life group that goes there every Wednesday, there's a group that prays for an hour. A woman came and said to her, I want you to know you make a difference. And the woman was pregnant. And she said, when I came here, I saw you praying, and I decided not to have an abortion. So the woman that was praying there said, is there anything we can do to help you? And she said, no, I'm fine. It was more just an inconvenience, but I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. So we don't know what is going to happen. We just don't know what people, or another time they may say, hey, I had an abortion once, but I'm not going to do it again. There are women who have had 3, 4, 5 abortions. Yeah, it's sad. It really is.
It is.
And they do regret it. And they can say, I don't, but the more they deny, the more you realize they do. And it causes a lot of pain. Now, of course, what has happened in New York and also in Virginia, where they approve of abortion when the baby is born, just let it lay on the table and not take care of it. Oh, that's infanticide, and that's a terrible part that we have come to in our nation, to think that is not only signed into law, but celebrated.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Celebrated. I think that, and I do think we really have to, as a society, as a faith, have to speak up more.
Now, if I remember right, wasn't there a bill before the House this year that was voted, that was defeated, that would have prevented anybody for a buffer zone or something there?
Yeah, and that came out several years ago, and it was in all 50 states. Now, 49 states said there's no buffer zone.
That's right.
You can pray in front of a place. New Hampshire is holding on to it.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know. The ones who can protest it is the Equality Healthcare and Planned Parenthood, but they're not. So, when we're down there, as you know, since they've reconfigured the city streets, there's quite a wide sidewalk, so you can be back and forth praying, and I oftentimes go up around Thompson Street to the parking lot, and some people drop their girlfriend, wife, whatever, daughter in the back because they don't want to see us.
Oh, okay.
They don't want to see us.
Yeah.
And so it's sad. I mean, it really makes you sad. I pray for all of them. I really do. I pray for the abortion workers too, because they've chosen such a horrible path.
Oh, I know. I just have I've never been inside of one, and I just wonder in my own mind, what in the heck goes on in there? I mean, I just
Death chamber.
Yeah, I mean, is there a certain, is it a room that is like a, I won't say a morgue, but that's basically what it is. But I mean, when you think about it, but what, I don't know.
I don't know what that place is like, but I've heard other places. It's like, for women who have had abortions, they've got a hallway, here a room, here a room, here a room, here a room, here a room. And then the doctor goes there, back and forth. And Now, I got an email from the Pennacook Street Pregnancy Center. It's in Manchester, and Wednesdays are abortion days. But now what they do is they give the girls what is called a chemical abortion, which is a pill. And that causes the baby, and we call it, people say a fetus, but call it a baby. Let's call a spade a spade.
Well, I mean,
It's a
yeah,
baby.
really. I mean,
It is a baby. Yeah. So they give that to the young woman, and then the young woman goes home, and the baby is in the toilet. And you can imagine what a young person like that is doing, how that traumatizes them.
So up until how many weeks can they perform this?
In New Hampshire,
Yeah.
the same as New York, the same as Virginia. It was voted in.
But for how many weeks again? I mean,
The time they're born.
they can perform an abortion up until they're born?
Yes, I mean, I can describe it. What they do is they have this thing that they put into the woman, and then it's got blades on it,
I heard that.
and it opens up, and it sucks the brains out
It's terrible.
versus the skull.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
It's horrible. There's nothing
God.
good about it.
There are so many people that want kids. Like my wife and I, we wanted a child so bad, couldn't have one, and yet they make it so difficult to adopt one or whatever, and yet they do this stuff. Oh,
Well, there's a lot of things that have to be changed, but right now we really have to admit that all life is holy,
of course.
and no matter what, you have. Once you do that, once you say that, that's the beginning of a whole lot of change in people's minds. Another thing I want to tell you about, Dick, is the Sanctity of Life Ministry is going to be putting on a conference, and that is going to be on March 23rd at Christ the King Parish from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And at that, Beth Gaby has arranged for 2 women to tell their stories. I've heard one story, very powerful story of love and faith. And then the other one, I'm not sure what that's going to be, but then there will be a time for practicing what we call compassionate listening, which is learning how to listen to people compassionately who are making difficult decisions. And so that's going to be the whole day conference. It will include lunch. You can go on Sanctity of Life Conference, and it's on Eventbrite, and they give you the information about it. We've listed the cost of it as $50. Some people may find that hard to manage, but we feel also if you cannot manage that, pay what you can.
Yeah.
Because we want people to come and hear these stories of people who have chosen life. And so we're working on those things, especially during this 40 Days for Life. But also, we realize that in between birth and death, we have poverty, we have homelessness, we have the death penalty, we have many things that we have to take a look at too. But abortion, euthanasia, physician-assisted suicide, they are unconditionally evil. There's no saying, well, in this case, in that case. No, they are unconditionally evil. And until we get that in our minds and make a choice, then, and the choices are hard, but God is always with us.
Sure.
And is the Blessed Mother. And so they help us get through. The Knights of Columbus are a good pro-life group. And they actually, through their fundraising, I forget how many ultrasounds they've given throughout the world. And see, once the woman sees the ultrasound or the sonogram and they hear the heart beating, that's when they make the choice to keep the child. That's the deciding factor. And oftentimes when you go in these abortion places, they'll say, well, you know, an ultrasound, and then they'll say to the girl, yep, you don't have to see anything. It's just a blob of tissue.
Yeah.
And they really won't even show it to them. So, but usually what happens is once the woman sees that or hears that, they make a choice for life. And the thing is, too, we have to be out there to support them. And it's not only, we're going to have we already have a spiritual adoption program at IHM. I think you signed up for it
Yep,
too.
I do.
Yeah.
I have my card right here.
Yeah, a spiritual baby
I
that you
pray
adopt.
every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
and
very simple
Yeah.
prayer. It takes 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And then in October, we're going to have a baby shower.
Mm.
And we'll get gifts and give it to CareNet Pregnancy Center in Concord and also the Pregnancy Care Center down in Manchester. And they, you know, help women. And also, I'm trying to think of the name of the place. It's in Nashua, and it is now being set St. Gianna Place, and I might not have that exactly right, but St. Gianna is a woman who had a difficult pregnancy and died, but she made that decision even though she knew she would die. She had several children. She was a doctor. But they have a place in Nashua that is now for women who need a place to stay. And it's not only during the time that they're pregnant, but also afterwards, so they can get back on their feet, get an education, a place to keep their baby.
Sure.
And we need more places like that.
Yeah.
That's a very good thing. And sometimes there are people who offer their home to have their home be available for the young woman to stay with them. They might have an extra room in the house and just support the woman through that and, you know, do whatever she has to do to get her to the delivery and, you know, go on with her life and help her to make a decision on adoption. You know, that's an option.
Yeah.
That's a very good option. And now they have open-ended ones where the mother can continue to see the baby and see it grow and sort of thing. People choose that.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of options out there, but we need more people on the Sanctity of Life Committee. I'll put in a plug for that. We need more people. We meet the second Wednesday of the month from 1 to 2:30 here in this building, and we talk about what we are working on and what is happening down at the State House on legislation. We also, this past year, or a year ago, 2 years ago, we decided to work on getting Our Lady of Lourdes and St. Joseph's Church. Our Lady of Lourdes is in Pittsfield.
Yes.
And St. Joseph's Church is in Northwood.
Yeah.
And so they're part of our group too. And they're doing the spiritual adoption program.
Oh.
And they put up the signs for 40 Days for Life.
Yeah.
So we're trying to bring more people into the area, you know, and even though they don't have as many people, they have 25 people that have joined our group. I mean, you know, who are getting baby gifts and that sort of thing. So that's a beginning.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
You just kind of keep working, and we also would like our pastors to speak more on life issues
I know.
when they get up to speak.
Yeah.
We really need that. We, as a church, need that. And I can get up there and say something, or somebody else can, but it really has to come from our priests too.
Oh, yeah.
We can only do so much.
Yeah.
We have to work as a team.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's the whole thing in New York and Virginia. Just showed we have to speak up more. We
I
have
know.
to. You know.
Yeah.
We've kind of taken a lackadaisical attitude, and that is not good. You know, it's, but I can't point fingers at everybody. I have to look at myself. We all have to look at ourselves and say, what can I do to make a difference in the world? And this is certainly a good way to start, you know. And prayer is very important in this ministry. It's very, very important, because I can tell you, the devil is out to.
Oh yeah.
The devil is out to destroy that.
Of course.
And he will attack. He'll make it difficult for us, you know. And you have to resist that. There's in St. Paul's letter to the Ephesians, he talks about putting on the full armor of God. And that's what you have to do, is kind of just put on that armor and stand your ground.
Sure.
And that is very much the way it is when you are out there, that you pray that God will protect you, and that you can keep to that pledge that you made. And also, if somebody has questions, that the Holy Spirit will guide you in what you say.
Sure.
That's very important, is to have that done.
Okay.
And so I think, I don't know if I will see it in my lifetime, but I would love to see it, that if we can eliminate Roe v. Wade and it goes into the states, then the states make the decision, and we see a lot of, I find the Midwestern states and the Southern states are more amenable to the sanctity of life. The West Coast, and I'm afraid the East Coast, they're a challenge. They're a challenge.
Yeah.
And you know, it's anything goes in the West Coast, and that you just hear the legislation that is coming out of California, and you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, there it's euthanasia, physician-assisted suicide is all legal, as is you know, abortion, the transgender thing. All these things are just whatever you want, whatever you want.
Goes, yeah.
Anything goes. And but we do have some good things out there. Father Bishop Robert Barron is out there. He is the bishop of, I forget what diocese, and boy, is he a powerful speaker about Catholicism and the church's teaching and so forth. So God is putting people out there in different spots that are very powerful in speaking up, and we each do our own thing and try to get other people to think that way too. And we never know, as I said, who you're going to influence.
That's right.
Or that they say, you know what, I saw you, I talked to you, I made a decision that I was going to become more pro-life.
Good.
So,
well, we're coming to a close of Faith Speaks here. We've been speaking with Kathy Hedstrom, and we're in the 40 Days of Life coming up. And please join us and join her as well. If you need more information, she'll be more than happy to talk with you about it.
yeah, it's at, this is it, 40daysforlife.com/Concord.
There you go. So,
Okay.
with that in mind, thank you for joining us on Faith Speaks, and we'll hope to see you soon. I'm Dick Patton.